Hi guys, welcome and who dat? I'm Joe, and today we are going to do a 7 round mock draft for the 2025 NFL draft for our beloved, bless you boys, in black and gold, the New Orleans Saints. My objective in this draft is to trade down, acquire as many picks as I can, try to get ourselves a historic, epic draft class. I can manipulate these simulators and acquire as many picks as you want. Okay, I did a draft not so long ago where I drafted 49 players. I just wanted to see how many I could actually acquire, and yes, it's possible to do that. So I'm going to limit myself when I do these drafts so that I don't manipulate them to the point of a farce. But this is going to be a historic epic class. So suspend your belief. This is a simulation, and it's also a lot of fun dreaming about how good our team can actually be. And so I'm going to put this limitation on myself. If somebody wants to trade up, I'll negotiate with that team, but I'm not going to initiate a trade down. I'm going to have to negotiate with a team that wants to trade up. That's the limitation I'm putting on myself. That way I can't manipulate the simulator as much as possible because like I said, I could rack up as many picks as you want me to. I mean, I can do it no matter what class I'm at. That's Buttons and Star. They're both playing right now. They like to play fight and yeah. So a little entertainment right there, I guess, while I tell you how I'm going to go about this. Here's the picks for the Saints. We have 8 picks to start off. This is probably right about what it's going to be, whether we win or lose this weekend, the final game of the year. These guys. So we have 8 picks. We're picking at pick 10. And I don't want to trade back too far, but at the same time, the most valuable asset we have is the first round pick here. So I think the draft class is going to be pretty good. Second round, third round, fourth round. I think you can find a lot of really good players, and I think that's how we restock the cupboard. So, how many players are we going to pick up? Well, we're losing 15 players in free agency this year, and we're going to be strapped for cash if we are stuck with these big salaried older players. We can cut a bunch of them, but it'll just hit us in the cap, and we won't have any room to negotiate and make moves and bring in free agents. And yeah, the Saints are strapped. I think the only way out of this debacle is to have a deep, big draft class, cheap, young players that can come in. Don't re-sign any of your outgoing free agents. Don't extend anybody that's old on the team. Let's just acquire a bunch of picks. Let's get a bunch of young players on the team, and let's reset this roster. You know, the salary cap won't be able to be fixed for a couple of years, but we're going to field a team of young, cheap players in the meantime. And that's my goal. So the draft starts, and I'm not trading up. The only way I'm going to trade up is if I acquire a ton of picks, and then I feel like I can afford to. So I get to pick 10, and there's 2 players there I'm considering drafting. If I don't grab these players now and I decide to trade back, chances are they won't be around. Depends on how far I trade back. They're good players, but at this point, I think trading down is a more valuable option for me. And I get a couple of offers, and the first offer that I get that I really like that I'm going to go with is from the Dallas Cowboys. They are picking at pick 13, and they're offering me their second round pick to move up 3 spots. This is how the trade's going to go down. They're also offering me a fifth round, sixth round, and seventh round pick. So a decent haul for me. I moved down 3 spots. Yeah, there's a chance I'm not going to get the 2 players I'm looking at, but like I said, I'm already focusing on the bottom half of this first round. There are several players that are first round projections that I feel like will still be on the board, even if we trade down a few times. I'm just going to have to kiss goodbye to these top two players on my list, and that's just the deal I'm gonna take. I'd rather have the extra picks in the second and third round because I really feel like at the end of the first round we can still get a really good player. It's not going to take a lot to improve the Saints. That's the way I've always looked at it. I've never been one to want the Saints to lose out so we can have a top five pick because I want to trade out of this high pick because it's our greatest asset. I want to rebuild this team and I want to get a bunch of young players, and yeah, the first round pick is the asset to do it with. So this deal happens. And now these are our picks. We instantly pick up four extra picks. Now we have 12. We have a second rounder now. We have a fifth rounder. Yeah, and we have multiple picks in every round now, except for the fifth round. We pick up a fifth rounder. And we still have just the one first rounder. It's 13 overall. I like this. The draft continues. We get to pick 13. And I'm pretty stoked with 12 overall players, multiple picks in each round, except for the first and the fifth. But I'm not interested in trading down again unless it's a really good trade. And we get another offer. We get several offers, but the one I'm interested in is Houston. Bless you, buttons. Houston's picking at pick 19. Now this is a much bigger drop, six spots. We only dropped 3 spots before. We'll drop 6 spots with Houston to get their 19th pick. And they're going to give us their second round pick. They're also willing to give us a fourth round pick if I throw in a fifth round pick. And I'm willing to do that because I'm also going to recoup a seventh rounder from them. And this is a good move for me. I get another second rounder if I make this move, and I do make this move. A second rounder added to the pile, an extra fourth. We give up the fifth that we got to get that fourth, but I'm grabbing a seventh round pick from them too. So I'm actually picking up 2 extra picks now. But that extra second is what I'm looking at. Now these are our picks. We're picking at 19th. We've got 3 second rounders, 2 third rounders, 3 fourth rounders, 2 6s, 3 7s. This looks pretty good. If the Saints had a haul like this, I would be ecstatic. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be making the selection at 19. 19 comes up, and there are 3 players there that I'm debating on taking. I get a couple of more trade down offers. One of them comes in from the Rams. They're picking at 23. They're willing to give me a third round pick and a 6th round pick. But when I offer to swap fourths with them, they're willing to throw in a couple of extra 6s. It's a weird thing. I don't know. The simulation does weird things sometimes. The Rams are offering me this third round pick. And then if I swap fours with them, technically I'm moving up 5 spots. And they're willing to give me 3 of their multiple 6th round picks. And I decide to do this. It's weird. I don't know why. But yeah, if I swap fourths and actually move up 5 spots in the fourth round, then I get to grab 3 of their 6s. I do it. It's extra bodies. And I have a couple of players there that I want. And I think one of them's still going to be there if I drop down 4 spots. So yeah, this is the last trade down I do in the first round. But I make the move happen. I like the extra third, and I like all those extra bodies in the later rounds. You never know when you're going to hit gold. And I like having extra picks. Why not? I mean, it's a wild thing. They're going to let me move up 4 spots in the fourth round, and all of a sudden they're throwing in 3 6th round picks. Sure. So that's it. That's the last first round move I make. This is how the Saints draft looks now, and it's ridiculous. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 picks. 18 picks. Well, My intention is not to draft 18 players. I'm going to use some of these extra picks and try to move up in later rounds now that I've acquired so much. But 23 is as far as I'm going to fall. When pick 23 comes, there's somebody there that I really want. He's literally someone I considered taking with the 13th overall pick and with the 19th overall pick. But I'm able to take him after all these trade downs with the 23rd pick. So, with the 23rd pick in the first round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, Ohio State. I consider Josh Simmons to be the second best tackle in the draft. I think Kelvin Banks is number one, and as a pure tackle, I think Josh Simmons is number two. I really like Will Campbell out of LSU, but I kind of picture him kicking inside and playing guard. Now, I would definitely take Campbell. I would take Campbell if he was on the board ahead of Simmons, but my intention would be to probably play Campbell at guard. Simmons is going to play tackle. And whether it's left side or right side, doesn't matter if Wonga's going to play the other tackle. And this secures no more starting Trevor Penning at tackle. And I'm pretty excited about that. Now, I know there's a lot of Saints content providers that would hate to see the Saints go offensive line again because we've done it so many times. And yeah, we're trying to get it right. We're trying to get that line right. And yeah, that's the position I was focusing on in the first round, offensive line. I would have gotten Campbell if I'd have stayed at pick 10. I fall down to 13, and at that point, I'm looking at Ariante Isri or Josh Simmons, the guy that I really wanted. And there's also the options of either Wyatt Millham out of West Virginia, maybe even Cameron, uh, what's his name, Williams out of Texas. Those guys are green. Josh Simmons is a good guy, veteran guy, good solid tackle. I'm happy with this move. We get the Buckeye, 6'5", 310 pounds. Yep, he's going to play tackle for us. No more Trevor Penning. Now, I would trade Trevor Penning. I would cut my losses, especially if we can pick up some extra bodies on the offensive line. I would trade Penning for a fourth round pick, fifth round pick, whatever I can get. Because, yeah, I'm trying to clean house. All right, so that's how that pick goes. And now we're looking at all of these draft picks. And to have all of these draft picks means I can maneuver now and I can move up. There's about 5 or 6 players at the end of the first round here who I'm excited are still on the board. And if I can get one of those guys to fall to me to 42 and 44, I'd be really happy. But why wait when I have the tools to move up? And that's what I'm going to do. My intention before the first round even ends, I'm targeting the first pick in the second round. I know that 4 or 5 of these guys will still be on the board, and I want my pick of the litter. I have the assets to move up, and so I get a hold of the Tennessee Titans, who have the first pick in the second round, pick 33 overall, and I'm going to trade with them. I'm going to give them my 42 so I can get their 33. I give them a fourth round pick 123. That's going to make the deal happen. I can squeeze a fifth round pick out of them with this move if I throw in a six. And that's what I do. I pay them a fourth and a sixth to move up. I'm moving up 9 spots. I get a fifth round pick out of the deal, but this move to move up 9 spots in the second round only costing me a fourth and a sixth. It's pretty cheap. Still recouping a fifth. No problem. I make this move. Still got a ton of draft picks left. And now I'm sitting at pick 33, and I've got about like I said, 4 or 5 guys that I can choose from. And I'm going to weigh my options when that pick comes. Day 2 starts, second round starts. I'm on the board with the first pick, and I get a phone call to move out of the pick I've acquired. I got the pick early, and now that the pick is here, somebody else wants it. It's the New England Patriots. They pick at 36. They're willing to trade up 3 spots, and they're offering me 2 third-round picks to do it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and make this move. This feels good to me. I have 5 players on the board I really like. I made the move before the second round even started. I made the move before day one even started, and it cost me a fourth and a sixth. And now I'm going to move back 3 spots from this spot and get 2 thirds. Oh, yeah, I'm doing this. Feels good to me. That puts our top second round pick now after pick 33. We're going down to 36. And yeah, we get 44 right after that. So yeah, wow, that's the way the cookie crumbles. These simulations work this way. I make the move to get pick 33, and then when 33 comes up, somebody else makes a move to take it from me. And it's a way better deal than the deal I gave to get it. I'm excited. I'm picking at 36 now, and when 36 comes, I'm not going to trade down. I'm not going to move out of this pick anymore. The 2 third-round picks that I just got from New England is insane. I mean, that puts me at 5 third-round picks now. Wait, one, two, three, four, five. 5 third-round picks. So, pick 36. Yeah, there's a player there, bunch of players there that I want with first round grades. And I go ahead and make the move with pick 36 in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Benjamin Morrison, cornerback out of Notre Dame. Yeah, on my list, he's probably the third or fourth rated cornerback. He slips into the second round, and I grab him. I'm excited. We need depth at DB. We lost Lattimore. Paulson Adebo's a free agent. Not sure if we're going to re-sign him. So after Alante Taylor and Kool-Aid McKinstry, what do you have? You've got a couple of undrafted guys running around hoping they can hold up. Well, my intention is to put Taylor back at nickel, which means we need a starting cornerback opposite Kool-Aid. We moved up in the second round last year to get Kool-Aid, and now we're moving up into this draft to get Benjamin Morrison. 6 foot, 190 pounds. Morrison is not the ideal size, but he's an excellent player. I think it's his size limitation that has him slipping into the second round. I'm not concerned about it. Worst case scenario, he plays nickel for us. And then we just struggle with Taylor on the outside. But I'm hoping this guy's good enough to man the outside. That's what he's expected to do in the league. And we can put Taylor at nickel and voila, cornerback solved, right? Well, maybe not. We have a ton of picks. We're going to try to get some more assets, and I'll probably address the DB room again. So pick 36 for the Saints as the cornerback. Now I'm going to try to move up again because I have all of these picks, and why not? My next pick in the second round is pick 44, and I get a deal with Chicago to move up from that spot. Chicago picks at 37, one pick after I just picked. I got the cornerback at 36, and now I'm going to get the 37th pick from Chicago. I move up from 44 to 37, and it costs me 2 6-round picks. This is a deal Chicago wants. They take it, and I'm going to do it. When I move up, I make the offer. The team wants it, and I have to adjust the offer several times until it meets the team's needs. Chicago's willing to do this. They're willing to move 7 spots down in the second round, 7 spots, and they only want 2 6-round picks for it. Okay, that happens. Now pick 37 belongs to me. I get the cornerback Morrison, and then lo and behold, somebody wants that pick from me. The Jets are picking at 38. and they want 37. Now, they didn't offer this to Chicago. I made my offer to Chicago. I got the pick, and now all of a sudden the Jets want it. They're giving me a better offer than what I gave Chicago. I'm not questioning anything. If I tried to put sanity into all of this, I just wouldn't do these mocks. The simulation is what it is. Nobody predicted Mike Ditka to trade our entire draft away for one move, and so I don't question it. The Jets are picking at 38. They want 37. They offer me a fourth round pick. Yeah, I'll take it. Cost me two sixes to move up. Now they're giving me a fourth. I also squeeze in a fifth from them if I throw in one of my sixes. So that happens. And now I'm moving back one spot. I get the extra fourth. I get the fifth. And that move is done. And then I wait one pick, and then pick 38 comes up, and I have lots of guys with first round grades that I can address in lots of positions of need for our beloved Bless You Boys. So, with pick 38 in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle, Ohio State. Another Buckeye. Yep. The Buckeyes have a lot of good players and a lot of positions in need for the Saints. A lot of players in the top two rounds for this Buckeyes team are going to get drafted, and we grabbed another one. Defensive tackle, 6'3", 327 pounds. He is massive, huge guy, can play the one tech nose easy. But he's also got a little bit of pass rush in him too. Maybe Tyleik can play some early downs at the three, slide over to the one on passing downs. Tyleik Williams is a big boy. He's good at stopping the run, and we need some help in that department. And we go ahead and get the big defensive tackle. So good move. I'm excited. We still have a ton of picks left, and I've grabbed two very early picks in the second round. Our next pick in the second round is slotted to be pick 53. Yeah, I've still got a lot of assets. I can move up again. There's some defensive ends that are still on the board that I like. There's some offensive linemen I wouldn't mind getting because I like to double down on in the trenches. Tight ends, I'm still looking at wide receivers. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make a move, try to get up again. And I have a player with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're picking at 47. They're willing to do a swap with me. My 53 for their 47. I just have to give them a fifth round pick. They're going to throw in a sixth round pick as compensation. You want to move that many spots from the sixth round to the fifth round and let me move up that many spots in the second round? It's not a move I would make, but Cincinnati does it with me. And there you go. I'm up to 47 now from 53. And I'm glad I made this move because I had my eye on a couple of defensive ends, and I saw one of them get taken at 46. So I make the move to get to 47, secure the other one. Ironically, both ends I had my eye on are from Ohio State, and I've already drafted two players from Ohio State, and I'm doing it again with pick 47 in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select defensive end JT Tuimoloau. Did I say that right? Tuimoloau, defensive end from Ohio State. I had my eye on Jack Sawyer, and he's a lot smaller than Tuimoloau, but I missed out on Sawyer, and that's not a problem because I consider JT to be not unlike Cameron Jordan. Big guy who's good against the run, has some pass rush ability as well, and he just needs to work on his moves, and I think he can become a much better pass rusher. Actually, as the ratings go, he rates really good as a pass rusher. He rates good as a defensive run stopper, though. And he's on the bigger end, 6'5", 269 pounds. I like Tua Maloa. Like I said, Jack Sawyer is slightly smaller, and if I had my choice of both of them, I'd have probably gone with the high motor Sawyer. But when Sawyer got taken, I had to make this move. And yeah, I've got three Buckeyes now. Strange, weird, not trying to do this on purpose, but these players are really good and they fit our needs. Now I've addressed the defensive line twice. I'm pretty excited about this. All right, we are lined up now to have five third-round picks. And having that really early one, 67, is great. Having a couple of late ones, 87 and 90, could be trade bait. Would I possibly move up into the second round again? Well, I've got a lot of options here. And Baltimore's willing to do it, willing to wheel and deal with me. I don't have to wait to pick 67. I don't even have to use pick 67 as trade bait. I've got enough third round picks. Baltimore's interested. They have the 58th pick in the second round. And I'm willing to go up and get that. And I'm going to use one of my third round picks, pick 74. Baltimore's willing to take that and a fourth rounder, and they'll make the deal happen. If I throw in the fifth rounder, pick 175, they're, wait, I'm reading this wrong. I give them a fourth rounder. They give me a fifth rounder. Then I give them two six rounders, and they'll give me their late six and their seven. So they're moving up. They're giving me a six and a seven, and they're getting two sixes in return. And we're doing a swap. They get my fourth. I get their fifth. So that's how that works. I'm dropping 55 spots from the fourth round to the fifth round. But I'm moving up 16 spots from the third round to the second round. So it's a nice deal for me. I mean, I give them two sixes, but I still get a six and a seven as compensation. And it's a big drop from the fourth to the fifth. But I'm happy to get back into the second round. I'm able to secure another player that I have my eye on. And this has to be some record because it's another Buckeye. And I can't help it, but it's a position of need, and the player's there, and he's worth it. With pick 58 in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Donovan Jackson, offensive guard, Ohio State. 6 foot four, 320 pounds. He is going to play left guard for us. All right, guys, we've got two defensive linemen, two offensive linemen, all four of them from Ohio State. And we've got cornerback Benjamin Morrison out of Notre Dame. So outside of all the Buckeyes, we got us a cornerback. But we have addressed the trenches, both sides of the ball twice. I'm excited about this. This is the kind of haul that we could get if we trade down in the first round. Multiple picks in the second round. And I'm not done yet. We still have a lot of assets here, and yeah, I'm willing to use them. And I'm going to try to trade up once again. I have picked 67 in the third round, and Buffalo has picked 61 in the second round. And if I move up six spots, it only costs me a sixth rounder and a seventh rounder. I have all these picks at the end of the draft. I acquired all those six round picks, and now I'm using them and trading up and making moves. So a sixth round pick and a seventh round pick to the Buffalo Bills secures me the 61st pick in the second round. I make that move, and then when pick 61 comes up, Detroit wants it. They're at 63 in the second round. And they want to move up just those two spots, and they're offering me a fourth round pick and a seventh round pick. I just traded a six and a seven to get this pick, and now I'm going to get a four and a seven just to move back two spots. Yep, I do it. I make the deal with Detroit. The manipulation's not over. There were a couple of wide receivers there at 61 that I wanted. I figure I drop down to 63. It's not going to hurt me too bad unless both of them get taken. One of them actually does get taken. Savion Williams out of TCU. Really like that guy. Want him on our team. But that's okay because the guy that's left on the board is a prime target of mine as well with pick 63 in the second round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select wide receiver Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State. 6'4", 215 pounds. Yes, he is a frequent target of mine for the Saints. I like getting a big wide receiver for the Saints. I like targeting him in the second or third round. I'm looking at guys like Alec Iomanner out of Stanford or the aforementioned Savion Williams out of TCU and Jayden Higgins out of Iowa State, another guy. Those three guys I target in the second and third round. Big bodies. That's the type of receiver we need for this team. And we get it with Jayden Higgins. I like his ability to make plays down the field. He's pretty quick, 4.5 speed for a 6'4", 215 guy. And he doesn't use his body like a big receiver does. I mean, he's good at contested catches. He's just not overly physical, and that's okay. He's got the size to be so, and he's got movement skills and can make things happen. So I'm excited about this, and that actually is going to wrap up the second round for the Saints. Yeah, we trade down multiple times in the first round. We may have missed out on a first round player you were really looking for, but we end up acquiring 5 second round picks when it's all said and done. And it's a good haul. 2 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, a cornerback, and a wide receiver. We've met a lot of needs. And our next pick is supposed to be pick 79 in the third round. But I have a ton of assets. I'm going to try to move up. This is a thing of mine. If I can move up and get a pick and it doesn't cost me a lot, I have all this stuff to work with. Right now, I'm looking at 4 7th round picks. Jacksonville has pick 72. I have pick 79. They're willing to make the swap, and they're willing to do it for just a couple of 7th round picks. And I go ahead and make the move. I'm trying to get up in the third round. I want to get as many of these good players still on the board as I can. I could just sit and wait, but I secure pick 72. And when pick 72 comes up, somebody else wants it from me. This seems to happen a lot. I acquire a pick, and then when the pick comes up, somebody else wants it. The team could have offered the deal to the team that had it before I got it, but once I get it and they offer me the deal, hey, this is a deal that's way too good to pass up. The San Francisco 49ers are picking 3 spots after 72, and they're giving me a third-round pick and a fourth-round pick, a sixth-round pick and a seventh-round pick. This is the offer from San Francisco. Yeah, there's a lot of players on the board I'll take at this spot. I'll move down 3. No problem. To get an extra third? Oh, yeah. And an extra fourth? Yeah, not sure why this deal wasn't offered to Jacksonville. Not sure why San Francisco decided to offer me this deal. Not going to ask any questions. Going to take the deal. That's how the draft looks now. I get 72 and then boom, I'm down to 75. But wow, look at that. Another third round pick, another fourth round pick. Yeah, I just acquired 4 more picks. I'm not trying to multiply the picks. Everything we get in day 3 after the fourth round is all just lanyap. This is too good of a move to pass up. I take it. And when pick 75 comes up, I'm making the pick. As a matter of fact, I make the next 3 picks. With pick 75 in the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select safety Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame. Whoa, I got the cornerback out of Notre Dame. Now I got the safety. Yep, that's the way it's worked out. Watts is 6 foot, 205 pounds. A decent size, not great. But He's a pretty well balanced safety. His ability to play off the ball and man and, fine. Uh, Towards the line of scrimmage, probably use some work, but he's a good guy with a lot of good ball skills. He's got good speed, and we need safety help. We need somebody next to Tyrann Mathieu, and eventually we're going to need someone to take Matthew's spot. Jordan Howden's a fifth round pick. I think addressing safety a couple of times is necessary. I don't know if we're going to re-sign Will Harris or not, but we have issues at safety. JT Gray's not getting any younger. He's not a guy you want on the field playing safety anyway. And yes, Xavier Watts to me is one of those players that's really good, too good to pass up in the third round. The deal about the safety position, I think it's a deep class this year. And safety never really gets a lot of respect. Most people put off drafting safety. And so what you're going to end up happening in this draft is a bunch of really good safeties that are going to fall into the second and third round. Guys that, you know, their talent should have been drafted earlier. But this is going to happen, in my opinion, in this draft. You'll be able to get some good safeties in the third and fourth and fifth rounds. And we're going to benefit out of that by getting Xavier Watts in the third round. All right. The next pick for us comes up, pick 87 in the third round, and we take the pick. And I address a sneaky position of need for the Saints. With pick 87 in the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select tight end Gunnar Helm out of Texas. Yeah, Mason Taylor was on the board at the beginning of the third round. I went ahead and opted for Xavier Watts, the safety, and then I watched Mason Taylor get drafted. Harold Fannon's already gone. Tyler Warren was drafted at the end of the first round. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Gunnar Helm, 6'5", 250 pounds. 250 pounds. He's right at that weight where, yeah, we can work with this. Puts on about 5 more pounds. I'm not going to worry about him on the line at all. He's an excellent wide receiver, though, at 6'5", 250. He can move pretty good. Gunnar Helm's going to come in here and help us a lot at tight end. We don't have Juwan Johnson anymore. If we don't re-sign him, he's a free agent. Taysom Hill may retire. He's getting really old anyway. So Gunnar Helm, our new tight end. I'm stoked. And 3 picks later, pick 90 in the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select defensive lineman Jordan Burch out of Oregon. I call Jordan Burch a defensive lineman. He can play defensive tackle or defensive end. He's 6'6", 295 pounds. So 295 pounds is huge for a defensive end. And it's kind of small for a defensive tackle. So yeah, he's a tweener. But you can also consider that tweener to be a swing guy. Now, this is the way I'm looking at it. You look at the players that we've drafted so far. Josh Simmons is going to take Trevor Penning's spot. Benjamin Morrison is going to be a starting cornerback, and Alontae Taylor can get back at nickel. Tyleik Williams is a big defensive lineman. He's probably going to be a Nathan Shepard, Colin Saunders type replacement, where he's going to play on the line and he'll switch positions depending on the down. We've got a place for all of these players. Defensive end Tuimoloau is going to take Chase Young's place, technically. And Donovan Jackson's going to take Lucas Patrick's place. Jayden Higgins is going to be a starting wide receiver, a big guy, probably take MVS's place. He'll probably beat out Cedric Wilson. Xavier Watts, yeah, safety. We don't have Will Harris anymore in 2025. He's a free agent, so Xavier Watts is going to be a starter next to Tyrann Mathieu. Gunnar Helm's going to take Juwan Johnson's place and play tight end opposite Foster Moreau. And now we get Jordan Burch, a swing end defensive tackle type who's going to take Peyton Turner's place. And that's my goal for Burch. Yeah, he's going to be a flex guy. He can bounce in and be a NASCAR defensive tackle. He can be a pass rusher as a defensive tackle. We can always use help in the middle, rushing the passer. But he's a big guy and he has a lot of experience at the end, so he's a flex guy. He's going to take Peyton Turner's place. I have a plan for all of these guys. And right now, we don't really have excess anything. Tyleik Williams, defensive tackle, in 2025, the Saints don't lose a defensive tackle. So if we draft a defensive tackle, we're going to have to find a place for him. Okay, so we have to cut Cameron Peterson. Oops. You might have to cut John Ridgeway. Oh, well. You got yourself Tyleik Williams. Well, now you got yourself Jordan Burch to take Peyton Turner's place. Yeah, it's all working out. That's how day 2 ends for the Saints. And yeah, we've got us a massive haul. 5 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks. All together, we have 9 players in the first 3 rounds. The day started, we only had 8 players total. Now we have 9, all 9 of them in the first 3 rounds. And day 2 is going to start with a ton of 4th-round picks. Yeah, we technically have one more 3rd-round pick. That's pick 100. But I don't make that pick. I end up trading out of it because Tennessee wants it. Tennessee picks at pick 104 in the 4th round. And I trade them my 3rd-round pick 100. I move down 4 spots into day 3 because Tennessee's offering me a 4th-round pick and a 6th-round pick to make the move. Yeah, I'm going to pick up that extra 4th-round pick and that extra 6th-round pick just to move back 4 spots. That's technically how day 2 ends for the Saints. And yeah, now we're looking at 6 4th-round picks to start day 3. And I'm going to start day 3 in 1 second. All right, day 3 starts. I had my eye when I was sitting at pick 100 in round 3. I had my eye on a couple of linebackers. I decided to make this last move. And now I've got pick 104 in the 4th round to start off our 6 4th round picks, 6 of them. And I take all 6 of these picks. I'm not moving around at all in the 4th round. One of the linebackers gets taken, but when pick 104 comes up, there's another one still on the board. Now, there's a guy that's been sitting on the board since round 2 that I have a 2nd-round grade on, but it's a position I've already addressed. And I've passed this guy up throughout the 3rd round. And my intention with this first 4th-round pick is to get the linebacker that's still on the board. But I'm hoping this other player that I have a 2nd-round grade on falls, because if he falls any further, I'm taking him with the next 4th-round pick. And that works out exactly the way I planned it to work out. So with pick 104 in the 4th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Barrett Carter, linebacker out of Clemson. I had my eye on Danny Stutzman out of Oklahoma. I think that Stutzman is a better overall linebacker, but Barrett Carter offers something at linebacker we don't have: speed. Without Willie Gay, we're going to need a linebacker with speed, and we get it with Barrett Carter. He's a smaller guy, 6'1", 230. And with smaller guys, you get speed. You also get that inability to get off of blocks in the running game, and that's something you have to worry about with lighter linebackers. The only problem I ever had with Sam Mills was that when a lineman got on him, he couldn't get away from that block. Well, Barrett Carter has a lot of good speed. He can run from sideline to sideline. He takes good angles in the running game. And when he rushes the passer, he's very effective. As long as he picks the right gap, he's very effective. So, yeah, we have some big defensive linemen on our line now to stop the run. And now I want some fast linebackers on the second half of the field, to get after anybody that breaks through. So Carter fits the bill for me pretty good. 6'1", 230. Yeah, it'd be nice if he would add a couple of pounds, but he's a shorter guy too. But I like the idea of having a fast guy, a a guy with the ability to make plays as an edge, fast guy, a smaller guy. He's not a small defensive end, but he'll be able to rush the passer. And we've got speed at linebacker now. I'm happy with that. And 6 picks later, I'm very happy that my second round guy is still there. It's a position we addressed before, but I'm not letting him fall any further than this. With pick 110 in the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jalen Royals, wide receiver, Utah State. He falls into the fourth round. Yeah, he's from a smaller school. Everybody can see the tape and see that he's a great player. Do you want to take him with a day two pick? I have a late second round grade on him. But because I got Jayden Higgins, a bigger body, I've fulfilled that need of ours at wide receiver. But this is just an instance where the player's too good. I'm not going to pass him up. Royals isn't small. He's 6 foot, 205 pounds. So he's roughly Chris Olave's size. But I think Royals is going to make this team. Who does he have to beat out? Mason Tipton, Bub Means? Or does he have to beat out Kevin Austin or Dante Pettis? Yeah, he's too good of a talent to pass up. We grab him with pick 110, and we have the very next pick, pick 111. And I got to admit, I'm uh, I'm reaching here with this player. He's ranked 80th overall on the boards, and I'm picking at 111, so he's not technically a reach, but it's a player that I wouldn't target. It just he falls in the right spot here. So I'm looking for a swing offensive guard slash tackle, and that's who I get with pick 111 in the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Ernest Greene, offensive tackle, Georgia. Greene has been very inconsistent. I think, playing for the SEC, you go against great competition all the time. There just are certain games where he gets his tail handed to him. And personally, I think he's more of a guard type than a tackle, and that's where the shortcomings fall for Greene. But he has played most of his career at tackle. He's played his high school career at guard. So I know he can do both. I think he would be better suited at guard. I'm looking at Ernest Greene and I'm thinking you got to take Landon Young's place, a 6 round guy, or Oli Udo's place, a guy who couldn't beat out Trevor Penning to make it on the field. And when Oli Udo was on the field, he struggled. So I'm not concerned about Ernest Greene as far as his inconsistencies because being an SEC talent coming from Georgia, he's got the tools to do it. And with a fourth round pick, it's not much of a gamble. I like it. We're going to get some more depth on the offensive line. Now we have 3 defensive linemen and 3 offensive linemen. And I don't think I'm going to reach anymore. Like I say, Greene is rated 80th. The next tackle slash guard on my board is rated 120th. So I'm getting good value here. It's just a wild pick for me. Not sure if I would go with Ernest Greene. If I only had 8 picks in the draft, not sure I would go for him. But since I have this many, we're taking a shot. All right, we wait a few more picks, but we get 3 more picks in the fourth round. And with pick 123 in the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft, I decide to go running back. The simulator is suggesting I take Dylan Sampson out of Tennessee, or maybe DJ Giddens out of Kansas State. But I bypass both of those guys, and with pick 123, I decide to draft Devin Neal, running back out of Kansas. I think Neal's a better overall prospect than Sampson or Giddens, and I'm stoked to get Devin Neal out of Kansas, 5'11", 215 pounds. That's a touch bigger than Kamara, so right about Kamara size. So Devin Neal is better than those other prospects in that he can operate in the passing game very well. And yeah, he looks like he's suited for this outside zone scheme that we run now, and that will probably run even if we get rid of Kubiak. I'm excited about getting Neal. I think that we need a backup running back who can operate as a third down back. In this offense, I feel like your first two backs need to be good third string backs or third down backs. They need to be good at passing and running. So that's a situation that I think we need to improve on. Kendre Miller's not good in passing situations, and neither is Jamal Williams. He can pass block, but he's not a great receiver. And so I'm stoked to get Devin Neal here. And yeah, he's one of my favorite running backs in this class. So if we can get Devin Neal, I'd be stoked. We grab him here in the fourth round. All right, 6 picks later with pick 129. I'm going to double down on another position. With pick 129 in the fourth round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Lathan Ransom, safety out of Ohio State. Oh my God, that makes the fifth guy out of Ohio State. What am I doing? I don't know. Ohio State has a lot of really good players. They're looking pretty good in the playoffs right now, too, in the college playoffs. Yep, I thought Ohio State and Texas were going to be the two teams battling it out for that championship, and we'll see what happens later on this week, next week. But yeah, these Ohio State players are coming off the board, and they're coming straight into the Saints. Lathan Ransom is a very good all-around safety, 6'1", 210 pounds. Big guy, and he's really good in the box. He's really good as a tackler. He's really good against the run, and he's versatile enough to play nickel if you need him to, too. Matter of fact, Xavier Watts can play nickel if he doesn't cut it at safety. So now I've doubled down at safety, and I think it's an important move for the Saints. Tyrann Mathieu is going to retire either this year or next year. So you need someone next to him. You need someone to replace him. Now you got a third round safety and a fourth round safety to throw into the mix. I'm stoked. We have one more pick in the fourth round. That's pick 137. And with that pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select defensive tackle Nazir Stackhouse out of Georgia. I've drafted this player before. Big, typical one tech nose guy, 320 pounds at 6'3". Yeah, we want a run stopper. We've already got Tyleik Williams in the second round. My idea of Tyleik Williams is to play him at the 3 on early down, slide him over to the nose or the 1 on passing downs. Then you bring in Brian Bresee to play the 3. That sounds good. Well, Williams would be lined up next to Colin Saunders on early downs. Now he can be lined up next to Nas Stackhouse. And how about that? Stackhouse and Williams on early downs at the middle of that defensive line. Whew. That's a massive amount of male humanity to move around there. Try to run the ball on this team now. All right, that wraps up the fourth round. We've got 6 additional players, and yeah, 15 players now the Saints have drafted. I think 15 players is right about where we need to be. But if we can get 15 of them in the first 4 rounds, yeah, we're doing pretty good. I like the way this turned out. All of those moves. And this is basically what it amounts to. Everybody else we get after this is Lanyap. And we've got a lot of picks, and let's manipulate the rest of the Lanyap. I'm not going to wait until pick 160. I'm going to make a move and trade up. Las Vegas is willing to make the deal. They have pick 146 in the 5th round. I have pick 160. We make that swap. And the Raiders are happy with taking a high 6th round pick from me. Pick 186. As a matter of fact, they want to move up in the 6th round so much they're willing to give me 2 6-rounders to get that high 6-rounder. Yeah, I move up 14 spots in the fifth round. I give them a 6 round pick, pick 186, and they give me 2 6 round picks, 212, 216. Hey, they want to move up that bad? Go ahead. I want to move up too. Works out for them, works out for me. I end up with pick 146 in the fifth round. And with pick 146 in the fifth round, I'm going with the trenches again. In the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select defensive end Jared Ivey out of Ole Miss. Jared Ivey is a big boy. I think this picture might have been early in his playing career because he is currently 6'6", 285 pounds. That's another big defensive end. I was planning on getting smaller defensive ends to throw into the mix here. But yeah, all of them that I've gotten so far, Tuimoloau, Burch, and now Ivy are all pretty big guys. But hey, they can all get after the passer. Burch's plus is getting after the passer. And Jared Ivey's plus is actually getting after the passer, as big as he is at 285. He can rush the passer. Now, my idea for Jared Ivey is to take Isaiah Foskey's place. He's not the same type as Isaiah Foskey, but let's look at the defensive line for a second here. Tuimoloau is going to take Chase Young's place, and Jordan Burch is going to take Peyton Turner's place. But you got another guy you have to think about. That's Cameron Jordan. Yeah, even if he plays this year, after this year, he'll be gone. So once he's gone, Tuimoloau takes Jordan's place. Then Burch ends up in Chase Young's place. Who takes Peyton Turner's place then? Jared Ivey, that's who. So you can keep Jared Ivey around for 1 year, and then he'll be a really good fourth defensive end the year after that. Do I make Jordan Burch a healthy scratch? Right now, Foskey's a healthy scratch. And if Foskey ever does get on the field as an active roster guy, he'll be a special teams player. Well, we're going to move from Foskey. We're going to have Jared Ivey as the healthy scratch this year. And then next year, he can be on the roster, on the active roster, and actually get in and play some at defensive end. That's my plan. Our next pick is pick 175 in the fifth round, and we stay put and make that pick as well. And I'm going to address the secondary once again. We pick 175 in the fifth round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select Jermari Harris, cornerback out of Iowa. 6'1", 189 pounds. So he is light. He's got decent height, but he's light, and he is kind of small. He's not particularly fast. He doesn't have top end speed. And though he's good at man, he's better at zone. Harris actually kind of reminds me of a Debo. Being a little slow on that top end speed, that means that if he lines up against burners, he can get beat. And yeah, a lot like a Debo, he gets a little grabby sometimes when he's trying to keep up. So those are some things about Harris that you got to worry about. Is he going to come in and be as effective as Paulson and Debo as far as forcing turnovers, holding up for most of the game against most of the players he plays? I don't know. But Debo was a really good third rounder for us. So yeah, Harris does have some questions. A gunner gets past him, a real speedster gets past him. He tries to be grabby. We get a bunch of pass interference calls. That's not going to help anybody. But it's another body. It's another cornerback, and I want bodies. Is he going to be better than Shemar Jean Charles or Rajon Wright or Rico Payton? Maybe. Well, we're going to find out. Hi, my Riley. You're so beautiful. My baby Riley's sleeping on me now. You're so beautiful, baby. So, yeah, I'm excited. Another cornerback into the mix. All right. So what happens next? 6 round starts. We have 3 picks. I don't make any moves. I take all 3 of these players. The first pick I take, I'm going quarterback. There's a guy that's here. I can't believe he's still here in the 6th round. I'm grabbing him with pick 185 in the 6th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select the 6th Buckeye. Yeah, it happened. Quarterback Will Howard out of Ohio State. I really like Will Howard as a prospect. 6'4", 235 pounds. He's a massive dude. And he doesn't have the arm strength you would expect out of a 6'4", 235-pound guy, but he does have some touch. He's getting better and better every year, I feel like. I think this was his best year as a college player, and right now he's looking really good in the playoffs for Ohio State. I like it. You get another quarterback into the mix. What I say you do at this point is you trade Jake Haener to San Francisco or to Denver or to anybody that wants that kind of a short pocket passer, quick 3-step drop, throw the ball, nowhere to go with the ball kind of deal. And yeah, let somebody else train him. We have too many young players to train at quarterback. But you get Will Howard? Yeah, I think Will Howard at 6'4", 235 pounds is a guy you can train with Rattler and let Hayner go. That's my intention. Let Howard get in here. I think Howard's a better prospect than Spencer Rattler anyway, so why not? You have all these picks, you might as well throw in a quarterback into the mix and see what happens. All right, 2 more picks in the 6th round with pick 212 in the 6th round of the 2025 NFL Draft. The New Orleans Saints select running back Raheem Rocket Sanders out of South Carolina. This is a big boy, 6 foot, 230 pounds. He is a mass of humanity to pull down. He's going to be tough. Now, he's a power runner. He is not going to make moves and get into the open gaps and stuff. He's not going to be your typical number 1 running back that's going to make it all happen in the passing game. No. You need guys like that for this team. This guy's a closer. I compare this guy to Mike Bell. He's bigger than Mike Bell, but this is the kind of idea I have with Rocket Sanders. And with a nickname like Rocket, yeah, he can definitely move for 230 pounds. But yeah, he's not a typical number 1, number 2 back in this offense. He's going to be a closer. He's going to be a guy you put in late 3rd round, 4th round, and just pound them into submission. I like it. I like the addition of Raheem Sanders. So you have Devin Neal. He'll be your number 2. I think more he fits into this offense way better than Kendre Miller. Then you're looking at a guy like Jamal Williams, who ideally would be your short round back, your short yardage back, being he had 17 touchdowns with Detroit a couple of years ago, but we never use him as a short yardage back. And I think that's where Raheem Sanders comes in. Short yardage back, 4th quarter back, pound and ground kind of back, the thunder to the lightning of Alvin Kamara and Devin Neal. Works out good for me. And 4 picks later, with pick 216 in the 6th round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select linebacker Nick Martin out of Oklahoma State. Nick Martin is another smaller guy, 6 foot, 220 pounds, but he's got speed. And I like adding speed to this linebacking core. Is this 6th round linebacker going to be able to beat out the 5th rounder we have in Jackson or the undrafted guy we have in Orgy? Well, we've got a piece. And if all of these late round guys end up on the practice squad, fine by me. He's a pretty good player. I'm glad to grab him. I wanted to get an extra body at linebacker. Ideally, I would like a guy that's 240, 245. You get these smaller guys, they're going to have a hard time getting off the blocks, but they do have speed, and we can use speed on this team to chase down those rascally scrambling quarterbacks. All right, seventh round starts, and one more move is actually made. I have picked 221, and Pittsburgh wants it, and they're going to throw in an extra seventh round pick. So I give them 221. They give me 233 and 242. Yeah, I don't need the extra pick, but I might as well. I'm done. I'm basically done with this draft. Go ahead and get an extra pick. So we're going to get four seventh rounders instead of three. I'm fine with that. There's lots of players here. There's lots of undrafted guys that are going to turn into good players. And with the seventh round, you can get your hands on them and nobody else can take them from you. So I got four seventh round picks and we take all of them. With pick 233 in the seventh round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select tight end Eli Stowers out of Vanderbilt, former LSU Tiger, and he is an exceptional receiving tight end. 6'4", 220 pounds. Yeah, he's a little on the light side. I've seen him listed as high as 225. Pretty light for a tight end, but he's a big receiving option. He actually had a great bowl game for Vanderbilt. I'd say player of the game. And yeah, I think in the kind of offense we're running right now, the kind of offense we're looking to run, can Stowers come in and beat out Dallin Holker? Well, we'll see. I have hopes that he will. And, talking about a big receiver, if he doesn't get it all together with the run blocking, he still can be very effective for us as a blocker on the outside, as a bigger body, and manipulate in the middle of the field with that 6'4" frame. So, yeah, getting an extra body at tight end works for me. With pick 242 in the seventh round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints go to safety once again by drafting Xavier Wonga out of Iowa. 6'2", 215 pounds. Wonga is a pretty good player. He can work on his tackling technique, but he's big enough to get in the box. He's pretty rangy. So, yeah, we got a cornerback out of Iowa in Jermari Harris, and now we've got a safety. So we got a cornerback and a safety out of Notre Dame, and now we got a cornerback and a safety out of Iowa. I like it. It works for me. Speaking of Notre Dame, with pick 243 in the seventh round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jack Kaiser, linebacker out of Notre Dame. He's got a lot of ability. He doesn't see the field a lot. There's a lot of players on Notre Dame, and he's showing up in ththese playoffs, though, and Notre Dame's still winning. Jack Kaiser had a couple of really good plays in this last game against, was it Georgia? 6'2", 231. So we're going to have Jack Kaiser fight with all those other young linebackers on the team, see if he can make the team. And with the very last pick that we're going to take, pick 248 in the seventh round of the 2025 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select wide receiver Brew McCoy out of Tennessee. Brew McCoy is an enforcer. This is a big guy, 6'3", 230 pounds. So the difference between Jayden Higgins at 215, which is big, and Brew McCoy, 230 pounds, which is really big. This guy's a monster, and he's going to maul you as a run blocker. Now, I would like for McCoy to be a better overall wide receiver, but I'm looking at McCoy at 6'3", 230 as a red zone presence, a short yardage presence. When McCoy comes on the field, maybe it's a tell. Oh, they're going to run the ball. Well, yeah, you try and get off that block from this 230-pound guy. Or we're in the red zone and this 6'3", 230-pound guy is going to muscle his way open in the red zone. He's going to muscle his way open in the end zone, and he's going to run block his butt off in the meantime. And so, yeah, I'm happy about getting a guy like that. I had a big wide receiver in Jayden Higgins. I got another tight end in Eli Stowers that can be a big presence as a pass receiver. And now I get a really big guy in Brew McCoy at 230, an enforcer. There you go. That is the draft, and it is a massive haul. 24 players total. It's insane. The Saints would never do this. They would never get this many players. You don't have room for any of them anyway, right? Well, yeah, 15 exiting free agents, and we drafted 15 players in the first 4 rounds. So we're making up some ground here. And all of these extra players at the end, 9 players in the fifth, sixth, seventh round total. Yeah, those are bodies. Most of them can end up on the practice squad. So let's take a look at the big list. We'll pull it up and we'll run through it real quick. And we're going to do this by talking about football players on each position, starting with the quarterback. Quarterback Will Howard. That's going to be our quarterback. If you hear music in the background, that's my son playing the trombone. Will Howard at quarterback. At running back, Devin Neal and Raheem Sanders. At tight end, Gunnar Helm, Eli Stowers. At wide receiver, Jayden Higgins, Jalen Royals, and Brew McCoy. And the offensive line, Josh Simmons at tackle, Donovan Jackson at guard, and then Ernest Greene as a swing tackle guard type. Great additions to the offense. On defense, lots of defensive linemen, 2 defensive tackles, Tyleik Williams and Nas Stackhouse. And then you've basically got 3 defensive ends, JT Tuimoloau, Jared Ivey, and then Jordan Burch, who can be a swing in defensive tackle type. So 5 defensive linemen to go along with 3 offensive linemen. Yeah, we're building up the trenches. We actually drafted 3 linebackers, Barrett Carter, Nick Martin, Jack Kaiser. Barrett Carter figures to be our starting Sam, and with that athletic ability, maybe he can get in on some pass rushing downs as well. And then Martin and Kaiser are gonna try to work into the mix. And then in the secondary, we grabbed 2 cornerbacks in Benjamin Morrison and Jermari Harris, and we grabbed 3 safeties: Xavier Watts, Lathan Ransom, Xavier Wonga. That's a lot of bodies. I think we can find a spot for all of them. This has been a really long video, but that was a massive haul, 24 players. I don't usually grab that many players. I was tempted though. I wanted to see how many you could actually get. And I did a mock where I grabbed 49 players and I realized, yeah, there's a way I can manipulate these simulators. So I put that restriction on myself to not initiate a trade down, only to trade with teams that wanted to trade up. And I was able to do it. I was able to manipulate it this way. And we end up with 15 players in the top 4 rounds, 24 players overall. You guys let me know what you think. If you're still here, thanks. You're a Saints fan. You're a Who Dat diehard Saints fan, man. You are my family. I am your coworker or your friend who loves the Saints as much as you do. Let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. I'm Joe. Subscribe to Rosenfield 10 for more videos about the Saints. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Who Dat?